Ah, the good old days. Oh, I didn't even see you there. You just caught me reminiscing about two of the best racing games ever produced. Now, as we all know, Need for Speed has been on a rocky road recently in the past few years in terms of games. Almost the whole majority of the fan base would like to see an epic return back to the good old days of Underground 2. This game offered so much in terms of customization parts that you'd be crazy to even count them. In Most Wanted, on the other hand, that brought the cops. And as we all know, cops in Need for Speed go hand in hand like French fries and McDonald's. So there's no wonder that we're all waiting for that one game. That one game that will combine both Most Wanted and Underground 2 to produce the best Need for Speed ever made. Well, that's weird. I suddenly just got a text. What does it say? Frank, look on YouTube. Need for Speed channel. Okay, I'll do that. Okay then, here we go.
Yo, what's that? Yo, cops!
Although it's just a minor detail, having the traffic AI ride around in real world licensed cars is really cool. It also adds more realism to the game and makes you feel immersed in the world. But you better watch out for them dump trucks though. I've got a feeling that they'll be up to no good. In the trailer, we see cars kicking up spray from the tyres and puddles and wet patches dotted all over the streets of the yet unnamed city. LA. Currently, we don't know if the water on the tarmac is permanent or not, but it will definitely help bring out the reflections of the street lights and the headlights of the cars themselves. And as we all know, all petrolheads want to feel the back end slide a little bit, and with wet roads on show, it doesn't take a genius to know that we'll all be getting sideways for days at one point or another. Yep, they're back. I think it was pretty obvious that the 5-0, the Popo, the Highway Patrolo were going to show up with donuts and Crown Vics on hand. I mean, why wouldn't they? They're a signature in NFS history. Take Most Wanted for example. Heck, even the more recent Hot Pursuit game by Criterion. Ugh, I just got a cold shiver. It happens to me every time I say the word Criterion. Ugh. So it looks like we'll need to watch our backs once again for the Rozzers and for the smell of Krispy Kreme's finest. Fingers crossed Ghost learnt their lesson from Rivals and we don't get arrested for doing jack shit. Apart from making you feel like Ryan Gosling from Drive as you're trying to get away from the cops as stealthily as possible, or making you feel as if you're reenacting the famous Fast and Furious epic first cop chase, having the game set at night feels more natural considering you play as an illegal street racer and all that shiz tends to go down at night. Not saying I know anything about that though. The darkness, much like the rain, makes the player's eyes pop with stunning reflections from the city's lights. A cool feature I would personally love to see make it into the full release is an ability to turn off your engine and lights when you're hiding from the piggies down a dark alley. With only the moonlight being your worst enemy, that would bring so much more tension to the chase, trying your damnedest to dish out a safe spot and just vanish like a wide-bodied turbocharged assassin. What good is it having a fully specced out ride without some grade A tunes to get you in the mood for a street race, or even just a cruise around town with your friends? Previous games in the franchise have had some of the best soundtracks ever in any game. Songs like I Am Rock from the much loved Most Wanted 05, Riders on the Storm from Underground 2, and who can forget Get Low by Little John from Underground 1. It sounds like EA is on the right tracks though, with the song at the end of the teaser trailer which is called Push It by Ishi featuring Pusha T. It's a proper showing up at a car meet sort of tune, which will make you look cool no matter what you're driving, except this. Maybe this. Maybe even this as well. I would love if they implement something for everyone, for example a bit of rap, trap, rock music, drum and bass, EDM, etc, etc, etc. I'm not normally one to care about this sort of thing, but as soon as I saw the first 2 seconds of the teaser, I literally, in the words of The Lonely Island, jizzed in my pants. I mean, sweet baby Jeebus, this game looks, in the words of the Colonel, finger licking good. I honestly couldn't believe what I was watching. Is it a game or is it real life? Especially at the end scene where all the racers meet up and hightail it from the cops. Another great feature about the teaser is that it was all composed using in-game footage. I didn't believe it at first, but then I done some googling and it actually is. I've heard that it's running on the same graphics engine as the brand new Star Wars Battlefront game, which looks equally as good. All I'm hoping for now is that it will be running at 1080p 60 frames per second on both consoles and PC. Now granted, obviously the PC will have better specs. I don't even want to see a hint of what Watch Dogs did last year in terms of a graphics downgrade. That'll hurt real bad because this game, this series, deserves better. This has been a very big weak spot with recent NFS games over the past few years. Although Rivals had somewhat of a storyline, on the racer side, you play as a notorious driver known as Zephyr, who wants to let the cops know that he is not to be messed with. And on the cops side, you're trying to, obviously, terminate the racers once and for all. Arguably the last NFS with an okay storyline was The Run, and that is why I was so glad to hear that they're bringing a narrative back in NFS 2015. Having one, in my opinion, helps to grab your attention and it gives you something to work towards, whether it's meeting new characters, doing races to get more intel in the storyline, or to make you eternally hate the main villain all throughout your time of playing, which is something that Most Wanted 05 pulled off so well with the douchebag Razor. I want that M3 back, bitch! The in-game world is one of the most magical features of any open world game ever made, especially when it comes to racing games. I can't tell you how many hours I spent blasting up and down Red Rocks in Forza Horizon 1, or cruising up and down my favourite road in The Crew. You just lose yourself in the experience. Need for Speed and I have had tons of moments like that in the past, where it's ripping through Rockport in Most Wanted 05, making some black lines on mountaintops of Eagle Crest in Hot Pursuit 2010, and so on and so forth. For the past few years, however, I feel as if the worlds of NFS have been lacking in memorable sights and them lost in at times. So as you can imagine, when I seen that this year's game will be set in a city which in my eyes strongly resembles Bayview, the nostalgia came flooding back. Memories of building cars in Underground 2 and taking them for a spin with the city's sights and sounds to keep me company. There is so much that they can do now in terms of integrating cool locations, for example car lots for car meets, and a car wash would be an awesome idea also. We don't know for sure right now if we're just limited to the main city, or if there are going to be some sort of back roads kinda similar to Jackson Heights from Underground 2. I guess only time will tell. As far as the trailer goes, it looks like there will be something to satisfy the needs of any car lover. Yes, I'm sure we'll get smaller starter cars and more powerful supercars in the game also, but the ones that every single person who has had a history with Need for Speed is interested in is of course the tuners. Get to see a Toyota GT86, a Nissan 180 SX, and near the end, a classic Skyline 2000 GTR. Oh, I'm happy. Now, if No Limits was just a looking window on what's to come with cars in NFS 2015, then I think it's safe to say that everyone will find that car that represents them. The ones I know of are the Ford Fiesta ST, the BMW M3, and the R32 Skyline. We also get some juicy shots of a 2015 Ford Mustang GT, and wait for it, A Porsche 911 GT3. Yeah, you heard me right. A Porsche. Not a rough. A Porsche. Wow. I'm super duper excited to see what else Ghost and EA have to offer on the vehicle front, because it's already shaping up to be one hell of a lineup. You've been waiting for this, haven't you? To the overall majority of the Need for Speed fanbase, this is the most important and downright best feature of any Need for Speed game. And it's back, baby. Customization. And it's about bloody time, don't you think? Now, as you can plainly tell by the trailer and screenshots, EA and Ghost have teamed up with several aftermarket tuning companies to bring many car lovers' dreams to life. We're talking RTR, RWB, and my personal favourite, Rocket Bunny. Oh my freaking god! The hype train chew, motherfucking chew, bitches. Holy shit. Oh my god. To think that we've been asking about this for years, and now they've finally listened and given us a game that will not only put NFS back on the map, but very possibly set the bar in terms of fun, open world racers. I hate to say this, but Forza Horizon, watch your back. So overall, I cannot wait to get my paws on this game. Seriously, if it's as good as we think it's going to be, then all I have to say is all hail the king and welcome to this decade's Underground. I'm going to be covering this game like a madman, guys, both in terms of news, trailer breakdowns, E3 info, and the game itself when it drops this autumn. So if you want to hear all about the latest news of any racing game this year, then make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can get it as soon as we hear about it. But for now, guys, I just want to thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below, what are you most pumped for about Need for Speed 2015? And while you're down there, it would be much appreciated if you press down on that like button with your paws, claws, and anything else that you've got. Also, follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I will be doing some live updates as soon as we get the news. I'll be putting it on Twitter and Facebook first, and then I'll be making a video of it. So I truly cannot wait for this, guys. And Ghost Games and EA, if you're watching, thank you for finally fulfilling what we've always wanted for so long, and mad respect goes out to you. So I'll see you tomorrow, guys. As always, thanks for watching again, and peace.
Tonight.